Welcome back to Golf Extra. The Ryder Cup is perhaps the most prominent event in international golf. Alongside the four majors, many players of European and American origin consider it to be the most desirable event to win. And so, selections to be on the respective teams are highly coveted among players. However, the recent LIV-PGA controversy has thrown a wrench into what is usually a positive energy selection process. In particular, European captain Henrik Stenson has found himself in an unenviable position, and he's not happy about it. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now let's get right into Henrik Stenson's Ryder Cup issues. Henrik Stenson has been a fixture on the world golf stage for nearly 25 years. The Swedish pro has won 22 times across various tours since he first turned pro in 1998. Undoubtedly, his greatest achievement was his 2016 Open Championship victory at Royal Troon. In that tournament, he shot a record 20 under par, beating out Phil Mickelson by a full 3 strokes. Notably, he turned in an all-time great round in shooting a 63 on the tournament's final day to close out his 54-hole lead. In a recent New York Post interview, Stenson commented, "I hear about that round quite often with fans who say it was the best round of golf they've ever seen. I got a handwritten note from Jack that said Tom Watson and I played well against each other at Turnberry, the famous 1977 duel in the sun, but you guys played better. That was pretty flattering. I have that in the trophy cabinet at home." As a result of this and other significant feats, Stenson was announced as the 2023 European Ryder Cup captain in March 2022. He was very excited about this, saying, "I am absolutely thrilled and delighted to be the European Ryder Cup captain. It's a huge honor, and I was humbled to get the call confirming the news. I would like to thank the selection panel for believing in me and will say to them and every European golf fan that I will do everything in my power and leave no stone unturned in the quest to get the Ryder Cup back in European hands." However, even being selected for this position, Stenson still decided to defect to the upstart Saudi-backed LIV Golf League in the chaotic summer of 2022. In a statement describing the reasoning behind his decision, Stenson said, "My interest in this concept has been well documented over the past few years, and despite some of the unfortunate and ongoing tension between LIV Golf, the DP World Tour, and PGA Tours, ultimately, the opportunity to play in LIV events moving forward is something that I want to experience. Like many of my fellow professionals, my hope is that my decision to play in LIV events will not restrict me from playing on any tour. Playing on multiple tours around the world is something I have done throughout my career, and I very much hope I can continue to do so." So it's clear that Stenson still felt that he wanted to continue to be a part of the traditional golf world. At this point, news of suspensions or bans for LIV defectors haven't fully come down, but it certainly appeared likely. As a result, Stenson's statements feel a bit more hopeful than the reality of the situation. Even worse for Stenson, the Ryder Cup quickly made the weighty decision to boot the Swedish star from the captaincy. Their statement after the fact read, "In light of decisions made by Henrik in relation to his personal circumstances, it has become clear that he will not be able to fulfill certain contractual obligations to Ryder Cup Europe that he had committed to prior to his announcement as captain on Tuesday, March 15, 2022, and it is therefore not possible for him to continue in the role of captain." That's right, Stenson's captaincy of the European Ryder Cup team lasted only 3 months and didn't allow for him to participate in the event itself. This was no doubt disappointing for Stenson, but it still left the question of if he had made his LIV decision without considering the potential ramifications for his spot in the Ryder Cup. He addressed this in a statement immediately after the Ryder Cup announcement, saying, "As many of you will have already seen, unfortunately my decision to play in LIV events has triggered Ryder Cup Europe to communicate that it is not possible for me to continue in my role as Ryder Cup captain. This is despite me making specific arrangements with LIV Golf, who have been supportive of my role as captain, to ensure I could fulfill the obligations of the captaincy. While I disagree with this decision, for now it is a decision that I accept. I have huge respect and admiration for the Ryder Cup and those individuals behind it who I know are doing their utmost to act in the best interest of the historic event. I want to thank everyone I have worked with to date to prepare for Rome in 2023. I am hugely disappointed to not be allowed to continue in my role, but wish you all the best in your ongoing preparation." Stenson's statement continued, "It is a shame to witness the significant uncertainty surrounding the Ryder Cup, who will be eligible to play, etc. I sincerely hope a resolution between the tours and its members is reached soon, and that the Ryder Cup can act as a mechanism for repair amongst various golfing bodies and their members. It goes without saying that I remain on hand to support Ryder Cup Europe in any way I can, and very much hope the opportunity to represent Team Europe in some capacity will come my way again at some point in the future. Since then, the European Ryder Cup team has announced that Matthew Wolff will take Stenson's place, and it seems likely that there won't be any participation from LIV golfers in the event. In the past year, since the initial announcement that Stenson's captaincy would be stripped, the sting evidently hasn't lessened for Henrik, who recently commented on the ordeal after the final day of the 2023 Open Championship. In part, Stenson said, "I'm just disappointed that with everything that came out, because there was a big willingness on my part to sit down and talk long before this thing got to where it got to. That's my disappointment, that there were certain people, without naming names, that didn't want to sit down and take those meetings. And as a consequence, I feel like we ended up in all of this that could have been avoided. But we live and we learn." The whole PGA LIV drama seems full of these sorts of instances, which seem quite silly considering now that the two sides have seemingly settled their issues. Regarding the possibility that the new LIV-PGA agreement could help him to be reinstated in some capacity on the European Ryder Cup team, Stenson said, "A lot of these decisions are not on my plate. We'll see where it ends up, from Ryder Cup to memberships on DP World Tour and PGA Tour and the rest of it. I'm just sitting tight right now." Still, he is trying to move on from the events of the last year, which he said were difficult times, not fun times, but that was out of my hands. About the decision itself, Stenson said, "I knew I could have fulfilled my obligations as captain, but clearly the DP World Tour and Ryder Cup Europe didn't see it that way, and that's why they made the decision. I'll look forward and not backward." Even though Stenson may have missed his last chance to be the captain of the Ryder Cup team for Europe, he has plenty of memories from his previous events. Having gotten the chance to play alongside great players like Lee Westwood, Ian Poulter, and Sergio Garcia, who would have been vice captains for Stenson under his captaincy, Stenson has experience on the big stage that most players crave for just a piece of. He finished his comments by discussing this point, saying, "I've played in 5 Ryder Cups and was vice captain in 1, and there's always going to be some great memories from the camaraderie, and some of those camaraderies are still there. I'm not alone in this. The guys that I would have had as my vice captains, we kind of all ended up in the same boat." Despite that, there will always be some element of disappointment for Stenson and how his Ryder Cup memories ended. But given that recent events have demonstrated how quickly things can change in golf, we may not have seen the last twist in this tale. So, what do you think about Henrik Stenson losing his Ryder Cup captaincy? Do you think it was the right move by those in charge of Ryder Cup Europe? Or do you think Stenson should have been allowed to retain his position? Be sure to leave us a comment with what you think down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can watch our latest content updates as soon as they drop. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.